Hello and welcome to League of Loggers. We are on episode 8. We are discussing week 7 of the LCS. This weekend we had 10 matches. All of them were completed, and now we're going to discuss them.
All of them were completed. Oh my god, what would a week be like when we're like, there were 10 matches, they played 9 of them.
One of them's still going.
Oh god. If only.
Would they cap it? Do they have bylaws that say,
The game will basically end itself eventually just because minions, the way they work.
Sure.
Oh, that's fair.
They'll get stronger and faster and...
Oh, they get stronger?
So they get more HP as you go, and then there's more damage. I don't know if it's casters or just siege minions, I think, get more damage.
I've seen a Reddit video where somebody 1v5'd bots and won without ever leaving the base.
Oh yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, it took an hour to do, but did it.
It would probably on Ezra, something that can kill minions without leaving base, kind of thing. I'm sure.
I think it was just once they got pushed in so far, you could set all the waves up.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, eventually a game will end on its own, especially because I guess they got rid of it. I think that it used to be the more towers were missing from a lane, the stronger the minions in that lane were. It might be global now instead. I know it doesn't work the way it used to, but yeah, a game would end eventually if everybody just sat in base. Or if you're eventually you're going to be so bad that everybody's dead, or one person's alive and they can win.
Sure.
I'm just...
All right.
I mean, that's how I win my games. Eventually the minions win for me.
All right. I've already diverted us way off track, and we've been here for one whole second, so... Yeah. All right. So the wager match, which got me to buy burgers for everyone, even though Kurt was on my side of failing, was the Team Liquid Cloud9 game.
Yep.
That is first on the list, so I'm actually not doing things out of order for once.
No, you're not. You're doing well so far.
Like a little heart around TL.
So
stars after they won.
This was supposed to be the game to watch, and it kind of more or less was.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match.
Yeah, it kind of went how I expected it to.
Not how we wanted it to, but how we expected it to.
I thought that if there was another team that could dethrone Team Liquid, I think Cloud9 would be the really only viable option.
Yeah, I mean, unless Impact picks York again, which I don't think they'll be doing that.
Yeah.
It was just the one time against TSM, and then afterwards go, hey guys, that might have been a mistake.
But yeah, so Team Liquid versus Cloud9. You guys have any particular points? Anything that was big for you?
No, I think everybody did pretty well, other than Svenskeren struggled on the Aatrox. I think that was what most people saw out of that match. Was Svenskeren had a rough time. We saw Niski play pretty well. Zazel always plays well. Licorice definitely over-chased a couple times because he was the only point of power on that team. He was doing really well in lane on the Poppy. And then so when he was trying to help the team, he was like, I have to get something.
Yeah.
And especially that fight coming from Dragon, and then he chased all the way to mid. Beautiful zone is from Bjergsen. The auto or the second pop of the Q would have killed him. And then the Galio comes in. Everything happened, but it was just, had he just taken what he got and then walked away, they don't give up 4 kills in that scenario for 1.
You're talking about the Jensen where he Zonias?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Bjergsen. Jensen Zonias. Yeah, on the Orianna.
And that was when Poppy he flashed for it.
Oh, it's beautiful. The flash charging the wall.
Absolutely beautiful.
It was
I
great
thought it was
play.
Or he.
Right, and he would have been if he didn't have a Zonias and a Galio. Because the Galio bounced him as the Zonias finished. Otherwise, he probably would have.
And then the taunt too, right? After.
Yeah.
It was some combination that just locked him down for Jensen to get away. It was beautiful. That was the turning point. So if Licorice did one bad play, does that mean he did well? Or if that play was kind of what tilted the match definitely into TL's favor, it's Licorice's fault. And that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the Poppy was good.
Liquid's really good about punishing you really bad. If you misstep even once, they're going to punish you. And that is absolutely what happened. Cloud9 played a really good beginning of that game. And you're right, that was kind of the focal point. As soon as that happened, the game was over.
Yeah. It still took a while, though. Yeah. I mean, there's a Baron steal even.
Most teams would just,
Yeah.
They're gonna fight for it.
I think it's very obvious those are
Yeah,
the two
the-
best teams in the league.
The
Yeah.
Licorice Stick.
I think they knew that they had lost, but they were
Whiskey
gonna
Sour.
try to go down swinging. It's kind of like how I envision, like how I pictured
Yeah.
that match.
And if there's one team in the league who's shown that they can come back from behind repeatedly, it's Cloud9. They're never out of a game, except maybe against Team Liquid. Like, they're just too consistent. They're the most consistent team in the league. Like you said, over and over, it's like, oh, they punish you on one thing and then take control of the match, and that's what they did there. Because they are very consistent. They see that mistake, and they do something. Like, every now and then, they make a mistake, like they backed off Baron and gave up the steal to Cloud9. Like, what the hell are you doing? Or no, that was actually their second game. That wasn't that game, was it? Was the Baron steal against Team Liquid or not?
I thought it was.
Well, I have a Licorice steals Baron. I don't know if that was the one where Niski steals it, maybe on day 2.
No. I know Niski stole it. I was thinking... no, that's right. That was day 2 that Niski stole it, because they had a Nocturne, I believe, is their jungler that game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nope. They didn't have Nocturne that game either. What?
It was Syndra Sejuani against J4 in the song. I think it was right.
I think it was game 1 that it happened. I think it was Aatrox was in the pit. But either way, they got the steal, which was a mistake on Liquids, because they got it down to like just under 3k, and then they backed out of the pit, which is not what you do. Like Hai mentioned on the desk, talking about a different game, he's like, if you're going to stop Baron, you have to stop it above 3k, and after it's below 3, you just have to finish it and get it, because then it's in burst range, especially for somebody who like has Syndra, like who has a lot of burst.
Sure.
And he said, and that number only goes up the longer you get into the game. Well, they weren't at 20 minutes anymore. I think at that point they were like at 30 minutes or something. It's just like, yeah, that number's above 3k at this point. And it was like, oh, it's at 28. Let's back out of the pit. And Cloud9 was just like, yeah, let's grab this. Let's go. So, I mean, that's the kind of mistake you expect to see out of Clutch and 100 Thieves, which I believe we did see out of one of them this week, too. But, yeah, I think
like
overall...
a close game, but not. Like,
close game, but Liquid is decidedly the better team right now.
Yeah.
Just, they are. I don't even think changing the draft...
They have the best cherry-picked team possible. Like, I mean, now that they've got Jensen and Core JJ, it's just, they are the dream team.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no, there's no weak point on that team.
Yeah. Core JJ saves people left and right in all his games, but in that specific one against C9, he did it twice.
Yeah.
So Core JJ saves double lift, and they basically go 16-6.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that team, they have the best support in the league, with Zeyzal short behind, best AD carry in the league, and Sneaky's probably top 3. I would say you might be able to say Sven is above him. But I don't know that any other AD carry comes above Sneaky, but double lift number 1. Mid, Jensen's a top 2-3 probably there with probably Bjerg, Niski, and Jensen, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
that.
really like
I mean,
There's been times like Crown, Power of Evil, etc. have played well, Demonte as well, but none of them are performing to the same level as those 3. Top lane, Impact's always consistent. He's not the best in the league. I think that has to be Licorice at this point.
I don't get that. Licorice makes mistakes or gets greedy.
But he makes far fewer mistakes and makes far more advantages than anybody else in the league. Impact probably makes fewer mistakes, but he doesn't get advantages the way Licorice does.
He's very aggressive. When it plays out, it's cool. When it doesn't, it's your entire game.
Right, yeah. As long as he keeps his, success to failure rate well above the Hoonie zone, I think that's a good thing.
That is called Hoonie Island.
We'll get there.
The Shelly Gillespie zone.
Alright, so let's move on from this match. I won. As much as I want to keep on gloating forever, I do want to talk about
You are
things,
correct.
we
Last note on it. Not from this match, but from day 2 when Cloud9 won, they have now joined Team Liquid as the only 2 teams locked into playoffs.
Yay!
So we do have 2 teams locked in, and I would be surprised if neither of these teams get top 2, get that bye, because as it stands, Cloud9 does have a 2-game lead over TSM with 4 games to go, and they own the head-to-head straight up. So TSM would actually have to make up 3 games in 4. So Cloud9 basically has to lose out almost for TSM to get this.
Yeah.
And TSM, I believe Cloud9 has the easiest schedule left possibly with Fox, Optic, FlyQuest, Clutch. So they're far more likely to win out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Seems pretty likely.
Yeah, so let's move on from that though. Like I said, Cloud9 secure playoffs was their next hit. But let's talk about the opposite end of the spectrum. Echo Fox and 100 Thieves. They are almost out of playoffs. They're not eliminated yet, but damn are we getting close right now.
It is beautiful that we have not one, but 2 teams that only have 4 wins secured so far. And what's
and one
even...
of them is 100, yeah.
What's even better is one of them isn't Golden Guardians.
Yes!
Like that's...
Praise be Golden Guardians.
I know, right? No, Golden Guardians are looking so much better, but sorry. Fox
We'll
100
talk
Thieves.
about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fox 100 Thieves. It's just them just crapping the bed week after week after week is just I love it.
See, I thought that's where
I
you were
love
going to
it.
go. It's even better because one of them is 100 Thieves.
And the fact that one of them is 100 Thieves.
Like,
It's like again, of all of the prayers to be answered, there were worse ones, but this one was pretty solid. I like that 100 Thieves has just done nothing but crap themselves so bad. Like, I mean...
they did so well against TSM, too.
Yeah.
Sad, like they did well.
Chase posted it in the chat. He was like, it's amazing that TSM is trying to lose this game, and 100 Thieves still can't win.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what that game felt. Longest game of the split, you said?
Yes, longest game of the split.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, TSM was throwing. They were throwing the entire fucking game. And 100 Thieves still couldn't close it out. I thank you, 100 Thieves, for sucking so bad.
I have so much notes on this game. I have, like, afterwards, underneath, early game, up, TSM, comeback, fucking longest game. Ridiculous. Like, how many times 100 Thieves does something great, and then it just washes away. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something else, because, I mean, in that game, Someday built up an incredible lead. And then, as a team, 100 Thieves all got together and decided they had no idea what to do with that lead. Mm-hmm. They weren't playing around him very well.
I feel like them not knowing how to... Like, they haven't won in so long that they forgot what to do when they get there.
I think that's pretty accurate.
It's so bad for them.
I would say, on top of that, that TSM just showed how much of a better team they are, teamwork-wise, because they were constantly sending one person to, like, clear the wave, and then avoid it, like, oh, you're low health, rotate somebody else in, or they would, like, send 2 for a moment, but not engage a fight, just make it so that he couldn't get turrets faster than he was. Like, they were doing all this stuff very, very right, while 100 Thieves failed to do anything. Like, when they were split pushing, even when he had teleport, they weren't split pushing top and bottom. They were doing mid and bottom. It's like, well, you're allowing TSM to rotate. Like, what are you doing? They weren't sending... 3 people mid to, like, push turret while 1 took dragon, and then, Someday soloed the other lane. Like, they weren't taking advantage of that gold advantage. They were just like, let's fuck around until we lose. Like, it wasn't...
Start losing
It wasn't as bad of a throw as, like, Clutch was against 100 Thieves, where they just had no idea what to do. Like, Clutch had this huge lead, and they're just like, how do you play? Objectives? Huh? Like, instead, this one was a lot more TSM playing around that lead correctly and negating it, as you should at that level. But, I mean, if 100 Thieves is any good, they don't allow to happen what happened. At least that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely... That was the fiesta that I wasn't expecting. Like, we didn't discuss that as the Bubble Wrap Midget fight at all.
No.
And it turned out to be... probably the most, like, clown shoes, like, Rock'em Sock'em.
Oh my god, it was.
Or what are they called?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
No,
or Sock'em Boppers?
The Sock'em Boppers,
Yeah.
that thing. Like, they just... They couldn't do anything. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautifully terrible. Like, they've kind of, like... It's almost an art form of how bad they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, between that and... just getting completely shit-wrecked against Cloud9 on day 2. Yeah. I don't know what this team has left in the tank. And we saw the analyst desk actually harp... And it's because, like, Bang did a shift forward, which at the time I watched it too, you see him, like, shift forward, he gets hit with this edge ult and gets blown up.
Yeah.
And when everybody sees that at first, they're like, oh, what the fuck, Bang? And, Reddit started with that, and I'm sure, and everything. And the analyst desk afterwards like, we're going to talk about this before Reddit gets completely off the rails on Bang here. And they pointed out... something that we've been harping on forever, Afro playing terribly. They pointed out how All he has to... Okay, so, like, Sejuani, her danger's gone.
Yeah.
She threw her ult, she doesn't have damage, and she's with the Galio tank. Galio does a fair amount of damage. But Alistar, he's trying to get, like, the double knockup, but he goes after the Galio Sedge instead of just punting away the Syndra.
Mm-hmm.
Syndra walks up. Yeah, she just ults him, and he dies.
So...
Like, not Afro, but bang on
I love
Ezreal.
talking about the plays on this kind of level, and that's why it's one of my favorite things, because I'm fucking silver, right? I would never have thought there would even be another path. Like, maybe if I had been playing the Alistar, I'd go for the Syndra just because she's closer. Like, that would have been my thought process, but not because she can blow him up. Yeah. And if I had just walked to the Sedge, I wouldn't even, replay it in my head to think differently. So it's really cool to see them at this level, because fucking Moo sucks.
I don't know if it was early last year or maybe late the year before, but the desk did a breakdown one time. I believe Kobe did a breakdown. It was of Sneaky kiting around a team fight. And it was to emphasize that target selection should be entirely based upon proximity and danger. Mm-hmm. So within... within 100, 200 units of each other, what is the most dangerous target to you? And that should, or, your team. That should always be your priority. Especially, like, as an AD carry, it's like, okay, the only thing that's near me to attack is the tank, so I'm going to attack it while backing up. But if the mid is there as well, you attack that mid while still backing up. Your target changes immediately when somebody who does more damage gets closer. It's that priority. That's exactly what a support should be doing too when it comes to peel for your damage dealers. And Afromu absolutely if Sedge has her ult still, huge priority on that because her lockdown is a massive threat. But he literally just saw it thrown. Mm-hmm. There's no threat left on that Sejuani comparative to a Syndra, even if Syndra didn't have her ult, but she did, so she is easily the most dangerous target now that the Sedge ult's out. Because, CC's more important than damage, because CC just allows damage to get out there, but yeah. It was just such this complete oversight. And then the other play they talked about, I did actually see at the moment, and I yelled at the screen, when they're all right above River, on the north side of River. Afro decides to flash into the fight, right after
I don't remember this.
Anda had been caught, and he flag and drags out of River up towards the red buff. Red team's red buff. And Afro's sitting there at the ledge, and he goes, "Oh, I see the Syndra over the wall," and fucking flashes in and goes for the combo. And it's just like, why are you going in? There's no reason whatsoever to go in right now, especially you flashing over the wall into the Syndra, because no one can follow up with damage. What you just did was say, "Hey, who wants burgers?"
I don't even need them.
Yeah, it was like me and Chase picking Cloud9. Who wants burgers?
Heather did.
She
Heather
did.
wanted the burgers.
And, it was... I saw that. I'm just like, Afro, what the fuck? And, people were on Reddit and Twitch chat. They were, shouting down Anda for, getting caught. And I'm like, no. He got out of there. Yeah, he was in a rough position, but that shit happens. When you actively make a terrible choice... That's more important. And we saw that. We also saw the clip. I posted it in the Discord as well, and you talked about it before we got live. Was Afro just sitting in a bush and he's looking for a play? And this is when they still had that massive lead on TSM. And he gets revealed by the Scribe's Bloom, and he just doesn't notice. Which means he wasn't looking at his minimap, because no matter where Scribe's Bloom gets popped, you see that cone on your minimap. That's one of the things that makes me feel like, ooh, I know something about the game when I see it.
Yes.
It would have gone over him, and he should have heard it, as well.
He should have heard it.
True.
He should have seen it on his... because his screen might not be on him, but yeah, he would still... Well, I guess... I don't know if you always hear your character or not. I think you do.
I assume you do.
I don't know. But either way, he would have seen it on the minimap. And he's a fucking He's supposed to be a world-class support.
Yeah.
How has he not seen the big blue cone on his fucking minimap? And then, yeah, he gets blown up with his flash and his ult up still. He easily could have ult flashed that wall and gotten away from Bjergsen's, because Bjergsen full comboed him with LeBlanc. But if he's paying any attention, which he wasn't...
Oh, yeah, he legit got deleted. He was like, I'm standing here. Oh, they're running at me. I'm still standing here.
Yeah,
I'm still standing here. Deleted.
LeBlanc distorts over the wall and throws the chain. He gets hit by the chain, hears that sound, I think, and that's the moment he's like, oh shit, starts walking away. It's like, why are you not popping ult flash? And then he was dead. And I was like, he doesn't make it out of the brush. He walks from the top of the brush to the bottom.
The whole exchange happened in a quarter second.
Yeah.
The Scryer's Bloom, he had time, but then he just sat there and got deleted. It was...
Yeah. No,
that was the same game, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Thieves versus TSM?
Yeah, that was the TSM one,
everything? Like, it was
well, so
basically
the other two plays were
all
against
of it was
Cloud9, weren't they? Yeah, because punching the Syndra away and then going down the Syndra, those were Cloud9. So, like, he's bad in everything. Like, and I said this before we started, I don't want to harp on Afro specifically too much, because I know that's Reddit's thing right now, is they're going hard on him, and I'm sorry, that's been my thing since late last year, is that I don't think he's very good anymore, or at least he's not playing to the level he should be. He can be good, but he isn't.
The problem is that he is the face of 100 Thieves. That's his problem right now. Like, he thinks he's safe. Like, they need to bench him. Mm-hmm. Like, they need to do something. There is no reason Aframu should be on the Rift right now.
Who do we say? They have Gate on their bench?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, no, Stunt.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter.
Right.
Fucking bring in point to the crowd. Who wants to support? Well, you're probably going to do better than Aframu right now.
And it makes me wonder, though, and I've vaguely brought up before, but I haven't, like, really gone hard on it, is how much of this problem is Prawley as well. As a coach, I'm not trying to say he's not the problem. No, I know, but I want to bring that to the fore, because we've bitched about, like I said, we've been on Afro for a while, and
we said it last week.
Yeah, and Reddit's on him, and now the desk is on him, and all of that stuff. Everybody's on his dick. Let's talk about another facet of the problem. It might be Prawley, too, because he doesn't seem to be able to manage this team.
Well, that gets back to the point where I say, like, he's the face of the team. They're not going to bench him. They should bench him, but they're not. Like, I would be... I mean, and it's already week 8 next week.
Oh, yeah, the season's over.
They're not going to do anything now.
They would have to win out to make playoffs, basically.
And...
Like, it's not that desperate yet, but it's really
unlikely.
Close.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're going to get deleted by FlyQuest, and then they could probably win the other 3 games.
They do have a weak schedule. Fly, Fox, CLG, Optic. They have a chance at this.
I don't know.
I hope they don't make playoffs.
They should.
Because otherwise they'll feel like they did go into Worlds. Like, oh, see, it's okay. It's like, no, it's fucking not.
They should make Bang the face of it. He's
been there for all of 1 second, though. Like, it's really hard to be like, hey, new person that's on this team, we're going to just make you overshadow Afro now.
He's a 2-time world champion. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I am not saying it's not possible. I'm just...
really good. He understands, like...
Yeah,
I think is on point.
A little bit more about the Afro thing, I guess, because somebody did mention on Reddit. I really like, because it's a thought I've kind of said before, like with the Cody-san and the double lift stuff, is that it seems like he has to be in charge. Well, guess what? You're not going to be in charge of Bang. He's a 2-time fucking world champion. Oh, and if you disagree with him about how the game is played, his coach was fucking Coma. I bet you he's right, not Afromu. Like... It's kind of like when Dardoch, like, he was always such a, an issue, and he said so himself, like, on other teams, like, disagreeing with his teammates about how shit should be done, and then he played with Hooney on Echo Fox, and he's like, it's Hooney. When Hooney goes, no, that's wrong, do this, I can't really tell him he's wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's happening to Afromu, but his ego has been reinforced, and deservedly at times, like, that he's been really good and blah, 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 and he's shut down Double Lift. He's shut down Cody said, like, got them off the team, and Meteos might have been part of that problem, too. Like, all those players who have been kicked off his teams, whether CLG or 100 Thieves, because, once again, it's speculation that it seems like he's like, nope, I'm the voice here, you don't agree with me, they should be gone. And now it's like, Bang, it's like, dude, try and convince anyone you're smarter about this game than Bang. No one's going to believe you.
I don't know. Bang is now... wasting all of his potential on 100 Thieves right now.
Right. I mean, did he make a bad career decision? Potentially. Is he bad at playing the game?
No, I bet.
No.
Maybe... No, I definitely think that he made the right fiscal responsible, play.
No.
I'm sure he's being paid a lot, even though Afro's fucking the entire team.
Yeah. And some people are trying to get after Anda, too. And I don't think Anda's bad. I think... it's a product of the team right now.
Yeah.
I really just think Afro and possibly Prawley need to go. Because if Prawley's the reason Afro's still playing, then he probably has to go too.
No, I bet it's even above a step above that. I bet it's Nade Shot saying, no, Afro stays.
Right. It could be Nade Shot.
It's going to be Nade Shot saying, no, Afro plays. And Prawley's like, okay, well, he's clearly the I don't know if this is actually happening. Like, fucking Prawley could be up his own ass too.
Yeah.
But, it's very possible that Prawley...
to be fair, probably is a little up his own ass. Like, I enjoy the dude, but he is up his own ass a little bit. I've always enjoyed him, even though that's the case.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to this because they're talking about the people I don't generally pay
Probably
attention to.
used to be a mid laner in NA, then was a coach in
Yeah.
EU, and now he's the coach at 100
Speaking of
Thieves,
mid lane,
so,
speaking of 100 Thieves, Saligo. Let's talk about him real quick.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I do.
I thought he played fine.
Yes, I do too. So
Yeah,
now they
again,
just need to
he's
replace
not the problem.
Moo. Exactly, but keep Saligo in. Bring in the sound tech guy for support.
The sound tech guy.
Can we get Joel? Whenever the desk needs something, like
Yeah.
Joel's the guy who can Joel
him.
play for them?
Get him.
He's nice.
And then run a game and finally win. Feel better about yourselves.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
Saligo did well.
Because yeah,
We
Saligo
should
did well.
change-
And it's funny
Helped him,
because
too.
last
They
year
did.
I railed on reuse the problem, get rid of, and possibly Afro. I was like, reuse by far the worst player on this team, and they got rid of Ryu and brought in Huhi. I'm like, well, it's not really an improvement, but fine. And I was like, we should still get rid of Huhi. And now they brought in Saligo, and it's like, hey, mid seems okay. Like, great, it's only 2 games.
And they helped him on the
I
first
think
game.
we
Absolutely.
should change
Yeah.
the name of our show to Loggers and Shitting on 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
Or specifically Afro.
Yeah. Poor Jeff. He loved Afro and 100 Thieves so much last season.
When Afro plays well, he's phenomenal. He's just not been there in quite a while.
Yeah.
He's mentally checked out.
Yeah, I think the whole like you can't tell Bang no thing, and he's being a like petulant little child. He's like fine. And he's
then
like
why would
angry
you-
about it the whole time.
As a coach, why would you want someone like that on your team?
If it comes from the ownership, Nade Shot, or management, I should say, Nade Shot, then you have no choice.
Why?
Because if management says you play him and you say no,
So
they
why
say
would
you're
management
fired.
fucking want him then? Like why?
Because
why,
Nate
does even
Shot's-
that
Because he's
smile?
the face and selling merchandise.
Fuck
Yeah.
him. Make it start working on changing it.
I
Bang, on your
bet
end,
We
on the
agree
back
with
line.
you, but that doesn't mean they make good decisions.
Maybe that's what they're doing though, because I mean they gotta like plan this shit before they're just like let's just fucking do it. Maybe they're already like
they should have planned.
incepting the idea
It
to
is
bring out
week
Bang.
7. We're past week 7.
But
I don't know how long.
you know what? Let's call it for summer split. They're gonna be like fuck Moo, bring out.
I hope
It's
so.
not gonna
If they
happen.
don't,
It's
they're
not gonna
fucking themselves so
But they
hard.
should. Like they should be taking this time to plan that and then
Like
do it,
Stunt wasn't
execute.
great.
The,
When he
the
played,
things
he's better
that
than this.
make sense,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, that does seem like a good idea. We should pull Moo. Like, I mean, maybe let him ride out this split, but his fucking ass needs to go to the bench or somewhere else after this.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
I'm thinking.
yeah.
Ride
No,
out the
I'm
split.
not saying cut him, but like, yeah, put him on the bench for a while.
But I don't,
Punishment. Teach him a lesson.
I mean, they should trade him to
gonna be
Cloud9
bad boy.
and, like, have him sit on that bench for a while. He
Right?
might
Oh
come
my
out.
god. Cloud9 wouldn't want him.
No, yeah.
They'd be like, fuck him. He's toxic. He's not
And
actually toxic.
Cloud9 seems like they have a really gelling team.
Oh,
like, chill
yeah.
people, like really just wanting to play the game and do well.
That's part
I
of
don't
what
get
makes
that.
that team so good.
I just, like,
Feeling from Moo. I get a complete dump.
I don't think any of them are old enough to drink, but I'd like to, like, smoke with them.
Smoking isn't even
I know,
like.
since Leslie on the
older
beer, he
age.
might be able to buy alcohol anyway.
Well, okay, so can you do weed at 18 or 21?
It's, no, they're all,
California, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's 21. It's
I think
21
so.
I think so.
recreational.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that
think
makes
so.
I think it's
sense.
18
All right.
medical, 21 rec.
All right.
But
They all have glaucoma though from staring at computer screens all day.
I'm fairly certain that all of them are at least
No.
21, right? Like they're all 21 or pretty
No,
damn
they're
close?
all at least 18.
No, one of them's 19.
Oh shit.
Some of
Yeah, you have to
someone in the
be
league
18
is
to
19.
play. Because it used to be 16 and then they changed it, I think.
So,
But yeah.
but I mean, this isn't their first year for most of them, so
No, the oldest person on that team would be Sneaky though. Well, no, Sven might be older than him by like a year or two.
Bjergsen, he's got a beard. I know he's
The,
not
the
on Cloud
oldest
9,
person
How did
person
we
in
get
the
on
league
this?
is Afromo, and he's like 23.
But, fucking A, this makes me sad.
I think so. I'm gonna find out. But yeah, so anyway, back a bit. Back to
All right, so
here.
we can move on. We even mentioned Saligo. We think he did well, and they helped him, and it almost made a difference, especially in the first game.
Yeah, no, I thought he did quite well. I hope to see him do well going forward. Okay, he's 26. Afro is.
That sounds.
Bjergsen's
more correct.
23. Doublelift's 25. Froggen's 25.
God, yes.
Pobelter
So-
22.
So you
Medio's 25.
you guys said that there was going to be a remake match. That didn't actually happen.
Oh, what?
A remake match? What are you
You
talking about?
like I heard both of you guys say in the chat like this is going to be a remake or something like that.
Oh.
So that
Are
they
you
locked
talking
in Blitzcrank,
Yeah.
and they remake. They didn't remake the game. Well, I mean, they have to remake the game, but it was in Champ Select. They never got into match.
Oh,
Blitzcrank was locked in at one point, and it was just like, nope, that's not, because it would have been like top lane or something. Yeah. And it's no.
Was it accidental?
Yeah, it was something happened. It was not intended, so they can quick say, hey, I didn't mean to click on that.
Okay.
And they'll let them.
I didn't realize that they would let you like rewind that back a second to.
Maybe.
Yeah, they just have to make a new lobby, and then they make them do the exact same pick bands.
I think like the entire crowd would have been like, we would have been okay to see it, but at the same time, we're like, no, let's redo this.
So the only time
fix it
where they don't let you do it, like if you intentionally click and lock in the champion, and then go, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, they don't let you, because that happened once with a Rammus. Rammus support, I believe, was played because it was accidentally locked in, and they already had their jungler.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think Piglet did it on Liquid back when they were about to get kicked out of the fucking league.
Oh, that's why he got kicked out of Liquid. He fucking locked in a Rammus.
Well, yeah.
So I was waiting for a match that was going to be a remake, and so it apparently was already, like, they could quickly
it was in Champ Select.
I missed that.
Yep.
Because I skipped forward to, like, the beginning of the match.
Yeah, no, that's what we were talking about, was in Champ Select.
Well, so, like, there was a point at, like, 12 or 13 minutes of the game where, like, Shelly bugged out for a while.
Spectator bugs.
Okay.
You've been seeing it a lot with Scion recently, where he would charge his Q, and he would, like, shift to the side, and then shift back when he let go.
That's annoying.
Like, we were seeing that, not so much the last 2 weeks, because we haven't seen him, but, like, the first 3-4 weeks of the season. It's all spectator bugs, that it's reading the positional data wrong. That's what it was doing with Shelly there, too. Freak, I believe, had said during the cast that we have some fixes for that coming, and so hopefully, I think if they go to a new patch next week in Pro Play, hopefully that will be the patch that comes through with those spectator fixes. Okay. But yeah, there's been a lot of visual bugs in Spectator this year.
I didn't know if that was going to affect the game at all. Like, I mean,
No, it's just us that see that. The players do not see it. Do that weird shit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's a spectator-only bug.
It looked weird because Shelly, like, swung at a minion, like, in a weird spot before.
And then she, like, floated to the side. She, like Bowser in Melee, where he's like, I'm a race car, and just, like, rumbles across the ground while crouched. And
Yeah.
No, all that stuff, we saw that. But that's not what anybody playing saw. It was the spectator client that was freaking out.
Cool.
So yeah. Because you see shit like that every now and then. I mean, it used to happen where it's like, why has this person been ignited for 8 minutes? Why do they have a 17-minute, like, blue buff that's just never left them? It's like, that's a spectator bug. They don't have blue buff right now. You know? Like, they slowly fix those, but if it's in the spectator, it's not nearly as important as if it's in the game.
Let's go to...
So let's talk about... Well, okay, so we talked about 100 Thieves being almost out there. We didn't really talk about Fox at all.
I don't want to talk about Fox.
Does anyone have anything to say,
Let's talk
good
about Fox,
or
baby.
bad, about Fox? Because they're just kind of quietly here and not doing anything.
I'm surprised they're doing as poorly as they are.
I mean,
I like their lineup to a decent
and they even pulled out Kind Boy and put in Panda. Like, and it's still not doing anything.
Rush, his nickname's Kind Boy.
They pulled out Rush in favor of is it
Panda?
Just Panda?
Yeah, it was just Panda both games, and he did. I just feel like that team it's lackluster in the worst way, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Like, at least they don't suck on fire like a couple other teams do. Clutch 100 Thieves. Yeah. But like, they're not good enough to compete. It seems.
Fox getting rid of their entire roster last year, was a huge mistake.
I'm sure they didn't intend to... Like, I think a lot after the management issues that happened, which were very obvious, and the reason Rick Fox is like, okay, I'm stepping back in to have hands-on, players like DeMonte were like, I don't want to be with this org because I don't trust it right now. I feel like that's what happened.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting rid of Phoenix and then... making it so
and then bringing him back. The fact that he came back and he's actually playing all right.
Yeah. Wait, they got rid of Phoenix?
Yeah, they cut.
Phoenix started.
There's 3 players they cut at the deadline last year, so they weren't able to get on any teams. They had literally 24 hours or some shit to figure their stuff out.
6. I thought it was 6 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Did it blow up on social media?
Oh yeah,
we grilled them hard on the show here
for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
I didn't know any of this.
So Phoenix was 3 games away from getting his U.S. citizenship, or at least in terms of playing
residency,
that. And they cut him right beforehand, so he was still technically an import when he started this split.
Yeah. So I mean, he's playing well now. I have a feeling Rick Fox, like, personally went to him and, like, said, hey, this shit isn't going to happen, or, you know, whatever. And paid him more than he was previously making, which is probably more than any other team was going to give him, or whatever. But
knowing this now, like, because I don't really care. Like, I don't have a dog in Fox's fight, so
yeah.
If they lose, it just benefits all
I
my
can't
other
think
teams.
of who else is fucking on their team right now. Solo's been playing well on the top. Rush hadn't been doing so well in the jungle. Phoenix is doing great in the mid. I mean, not great, but well.
Yeah.
And then Apollo and Hakuho, they're all right in the bottom, but they haven't... I mean, that's what they've always been. They've been consistent, but not great.
I've never thought Hakuo was good at all, and then he's just...
His Morgana Thresh can be so good. Yeah, give me another. But yeah, like, I think... I mean, I would much rather have Apollo Hakuho than, like, Piglet anyone. But...
Mean.
Yeah, or Afro anyone right now. How about that too? Although actually, if you did Apollo and Afro, they'd probably be really good because I don't think Apollo is an assertive player. I doubt Phoenix is an assertive player. I don't think so. There we go. If you want to find a home for Afro, Echo Fox should grab him and put him on that team because I think he would be the most assertive person on that team, and they would play well.
Yeah. I think if he has people listening to him, maybe he cares more, and if people aren't listening to him, he just fucking checks out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, because Bang's not going to listen.
And I think that might be the problem with Echo Fox right now, is I don't know that they have an assertive enough player to make that team work.
That would be really cool.
Because they don't have any superstars. The best player on that team right now is either Phoenix or Solo. And they're both, they're fine players, but they're not going to win you a game on their own. Not usually.
Or at all.
Hey, they've won 4 games. And they were, granted, it hasn't been in 3 weeks that they've won. But, like, Solo has generally looked fine up top. Like, you're just seeing a lot of attention put towards top and mid now, because that's the only place they succeed as a team. And Jungle's struggling so much that all that attention doesn't, you know, it's like we're not countering that with anything, because Rush and now Panda aren't getting anything done there. Panda needs more time. He's so green, you know?
I think if they give Panda more of a chance, he could be good.
I mean, that's a good time to pull him in as a week 7 when you know that the odds of making playoffs are pretty much nil at this point. So you use these couple weeks to get your players off the bench, to get them a little bit of stage time so they can work on the problems they have, and then they can start next split, and they're not as green as...
And I have to say, I do totally agree with both Echo Fox and 100 Thieves making that move this week where they subbed someone on the team out.
100 Thieves didn't sub the right person out.
That's true.
Right. I don't think subbing mid was a bad choice, though. I'll still think that is somebody who did need to be subbed out. It's probably just not the most pivotal person to sub out.
So, He was up here. Afro's been down here. Here's where, like, normal... Like,
Afro is.
No, like, this is, like, where normal players are.
Yeah.
Like, just not just Afro in general, just normal players. Like, He was down here and Afro's down here somewhere.
Yeah, no, Afro is the worst of the two currently, but I think I get it a little bit because, like, oh, he has that potential. Well, let's swap the mid and see. This week showed he's still an issue. I hope to see him subbed out next week. I don't expect to see him subbed out until next split, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, go ahead.
I
was going to say, what you said about them being not very aggressive or assertive, I mean, it definitely, I was going to say it definitely showed in game 2. Like,
against FlyQuest, Echo Fox, they got steamrolled.
Exactly.
But yeah, so with Echo Fox 100 Thieves, both these teams are almost knocked out of contention.
When will we know? Next week?
Next week.
Yeah, if they were to lose, I think both games next week, they're out.
Okay.
It might take less. I mean, because it depends on what the teams who are going to make playoffs do as well. So it's those bubble teams there that really matter.
If they lose both of them?
I think if they lose both, they're probably locked out.
I'll check into that. I'll put a question mark.
I can figure it out real fast, actually. But, so, do you think either of these teams have any shot? I mean, we already said 100 Thieves has a really easy out schedule by comparison. Fly, Fox, CLG, Optic. Fox has Cloud9, 100 Thieves, TL, CLG. I think they're dead in the water just because they have 2 top teams to face. Fox is. That would be my assertion.
I think that I think that Fox could win
2 of them.
2 at best. But since wait, shit, hold on. Was I looking in the wrong? Yeah, okay. So I think Fox could win 2 at best, and I think that 100 Thieves could win 3 at best.
Which is funny because it's including Fox.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like
it's like it can go either way.
They're
on that
both
one.
dumpster fires right now. Like
That's going to be the bubble wrapped midget wrestling match on the next.
So
week.
even
What I
if
wanna
those
say.
teams go 0-2 this next week, so Golden Guardians and Optic currently hold 5th, 6th place together. They're tied, which are the last 2 spots, and they have 6 wins. They face TSM Clutch and CLG Cloud9 next week. If they each get a win, that will lock 100 Thieves and Fox out if they both go 0-2, because that's what they have to catch up to. They're currently 2 games behind, so they can't be locked out unless they, drop back another game, because then you're 3 behind with only 2 to go, in the last week. Math, I know. It gets ridiculous.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Just tell me next week. That's all I'll just say.
Yeah, no, it's very possible. I mean, I think we'll see Golden Guardians pick up a win against Clutch, hopefully, and we might see Optic beat CLG, and if that happens, and then those other teams manage to both... Oh, no, they can't both lose because they face each other the one game. So I guess...
one of them is getting at least a win.
Yes. Yeah. So we won't see both of them out of playoffs at the end of next week.
Okay.
So we will at most have one team eliminated from playoffs next weekend, and that's it.
That's
Wow.
cool. So only one team will be eliminated next weekend. That's what it boils
Which
down
means
to.
there's a big ass race
Alright.
heading into week 9, which is fun.
Yes.
Like that when we went the last week 9 of Summer Split last year, there's a big old fucking race to see who would make it. There was a chance there was going to be like 8 tiebreakers.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was. We're like, shit.
I'm
If that
excited.
happens, there's matches on Monday.
Really?
Yeah, they started that last spring split because there were like 7 matches, so they only played a
Oh,
couple.
you just
that
made my day. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, they're like, there's
Cool.
too many, because they had done it once where there was a ton of matches, or maybe it was that spring split where they did them all that night, and they're just like, we're not making teams do that again, because teams were there like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And they're like,
That's
that's
gotta be too much.
that's not good for competitive integrity in those last couple matches. They're tired. They've played like 4 already.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I hope they spaced it out enough, like the next day. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, actually, did they end up playing? They did end up playing some on Monday, didn't they?
I believe so. We didn't make it though.
Well, because we weren't sure if they would have this studio open, and I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't.
'Cause-
You're right. They didn't have.
Because
it
that's
open.
one of the things we're like, oh, if there's Monday matches, like, can we go back? Because we were still going to be in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, couldn't find any information. And eventually saw it's like, no, studio's not open. Which makes sense, like, because the staff isn't scheduled to work on Mondays, so they'd have to, like, bring in the house staff for
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't think either of these teams are going to make it, but we'll know probably one of them will be dead next week.
All right.
I'm curious to see if we see more switches, especially out 100 Thieves. So anyway, let's move on to somebody who's been surprisingly good as opposed to surprisingly bad. Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians, I did double check. Spring Split last year when they got 10th, 4 wins. Summer Split last year when they got 10th, 5 wins. Oh, also both those splits, their academy team also got 10th in academy. So they have gotten 4 10th places between the 2 leagues in the past 2 splits. Right now, this fucking moment, as I just mentioned, they are tied for 5th. They are in a playoff spot, and they have 6 wins as we predicted they would get. I don't think they're done yet, though.
I really hope not. I think the TSM game is going to be okay. Actually, let's bring it back to what happened this weekend.
CLG Team Liquid they faced.
So CLG, like, they kind of just quietly stomped them. Like, that was a pretty
That was game 1.
Yeah.
Fucking skip that. Okay.
yeah. Like I watched that and I was like, good job, guys. You guys.
I take back things I've said about Hunter. He played a very good Ken in that game. I have to give him credit. I will admit when I'm wrong. He played a very good Kennen.
Yeah, no, I thought that he looked good on the Kennen. I feel like he played safe and aggressive at just like the right moments, and I think it really paid off for him. And then against Team Liquid on day 2, they keep looking good against these teams that are like dramatically better than them. Mm-hmm. And like they did lose against Team Liquid, which was expected, but like they looked good doing it. It makes me think that they've got more in the tank. They just need to tap into it a little bit more.
I give a fair amount of credit to their coach, Inero. He was formerly Echo Fox's last season until, like, I don't know, the last 3-4 weeks or something when he left the team. He was like, fuck this. It was actually very shortly after the, like, cutting of people happened because he did not have input on that. But yeah, he's their coach now. He's doing very well. He just had a interview with Travis Gafford, I think it was the interview with. It might have been with Avali, where he said he wanted to play these top teams because he's like, I've been analyzing them. They have some very obvious weaknesses that I think we can take advantage of. And I feel like they were doing that against Liquid. Like, eventually they overplayed / misplayed. They had the Baron, and they decided to fight around Drake without pushing out the lanes first. Yeah. And they lost that fight, and then Team Liquid took the game, like Team Liquid does. Yeah. But I feel if they make the better, more seasoned team decision to push out the lanes properly, and then you fall, try and take turrets, whatever, and then you fall back to Drake on your way out, that doesn't happen, and maybe they win that game. Maybe it just takes longer to lose. I don't know, but...
I don't know. I think Contracts kind of had a couple misplays. Like, he got the first blood, but he also gave up a kill. Like, and thankfully it went over to Core JJ instead of anyone else. But,
instead of Double Lift, yeah.
Yeah. But, so Contracts kill, no one else had tagged it, so he got the gold all by himself. Like, he should have, like, tried to rope it in a little bit, so there was...
Well, and then, because that was the blue buff invade that got that kill. And on the way out, him and JJ totally miscommunicated, because JJ was blocking for him.
Ole?
Yeah, their way around.
I'm sorry, Ole, yeah. Ole was blocking for Contracts as they're headed out, and he, instead of them both hugging to the same side...
One of them went this way, and one went this way, and a tongue licked him right in the bush.
Contracts basically tried to run the shortest route out of the jungle, rather than the wall, which would be the safest route, but slightly longer. Like, I think he just clicked a river, and it pathed him that way, rather than hugging wall. Whereas Ole hugged wall, to, like, minimize things, but also Ole could have hugged other wall. They just need to have communicated that. Yeah, well, like, really, it was just all the fucking geometry of it. If they communicate that, there's no way in hell that he dies, and that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. But he had the potential to get away clean, and it didn't happen.
First blood, 3 buff on a Jarvan, was it? Yeah. Like, a Jarvan 3 buffing a Lee Sin with first blood to start, that's the dream right there. It's like, oh, you're an early game champ? I'm the early game champ now.
Yeah, so I mean, they started off a little bit rough there, but then they played the rest of the game pretty...
Keep going.
They played the game pretty well, and then it was just another one of those missteps where they made a mistake and Team Liquid capitalized like they do, and it was just basically game over at that point.
Yeah.
Like... Whereas Cloud9 didn't quite completely roll over, I feel like Golden Guardians did. They're just like, okay, we fucked up. We can't do anything.
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. Like, most teams, Cloud9, we'll fight back.
Yeah. I mean, I think that also speaks to the differences in the experience and the level of play coming out of those teams. But I think Golden Guardians is very good right now. I hope they make playoffs. I want to see this team continue forward. Cool. There is a chance still they go winless on the way out. TSM... they should beat Clutch. That should be the one win they should not fuck up, but you never fucking know, especially if Clutch makes a substitution. And then Optic and FlyQuest are right there around him. Optic just tied with them, and FlyQuest just a game ahead of them. Those are going to be some important matches for Golden Guardians. Week 9 will matter so much.
I would say that Golden Guardians have beaten TSM already, but they beat TSM when TSM wasn't TSM. They were fucking... I don't know. They don't know who they were. Because, like, the beginning of the split, TSM played pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Whereas now Golden Guardians is starting to play well. I'll be pretty interested to see how that goes for them. Like, I think that there's definitely a chance, especially after how hard of, like, at least portions of that match they made it for Team Liquid.
Yeah, they definitely have the chance. They could win out, even. I think that schedule is really interesting because, like, TSM's the one they should lose, Clutch is the one they should win, the other two are super close, but none of them seem out of the realm of going the other way. Mm-hmm. Which I think kind of just speaks to Golden Guardians. I mean, there's a reason they're 6-8 right now. Well, is they're very right in the middle where games could go either way.
I don't know. I think that they have a very good chance against Optic, and FlyQuest is more the wild card in my book. Like, FlyQuest has been playing really well, but they also, had a 4-game losing streak and losing against 2 teams that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
I think the two most important ones for Golden Guardians to pick up, though, are Clutch and Optic, because if they lose to Clutch, Clutch owns the head-to-head, and if Clutch were to make that run, they could bump them out then. And Optic, if they win that one, they own the head-to-head against Optic. So, being like those 2 teams are ones you might be fighting for that playoff spot. Sure. So you have to make sure you don't have the lost, the 0-2 to either of those teams. And if they win both of those, they have the 1-1, so it would go to a tiebreaker. or they have the 2-0, in which case they just outright beat them. Unless it's a 3-way tie, then she gets more complicated, but still.
It'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Things are crazy right now. Like, this clump towards the end is, like, scary and exciting and scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then exciting, and then scary again, and then more exciting. Are we done with Thieves yet?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think Golden Guardians are doing really well. So Optics is the team that is tied with them, but I don't think we have as much to say about them right now. They're still doing the jungler shuffle thing.
Yeah.
However, let's talk about them and Golden Guardians together, being at that 6 and 8, and also talk about the two teams who are chasing them at 5 and 9, CLG and Clutch. Can Golden Guardians Optic, who currently hold the last 2 playoff spots, can they hold off both CLG and Clutch? Or do we see there being some swapping going on between these 4?
I don't know. Golden Guardians beat CLG the last 2 times that they played them, and I know they don't play again, but like
right, they own that head-to-head already, which is so important for them. That's why I was saying like the Clutch and the Optic ones, because if so, then they own that they don't lose any of the head-to-heads for all 3 of their competitors.
But it could potentially not matter because Optic could go either way. 100 Thieves probably will go in favor of CLG. And Fox, that's another, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, if you end up tied at 6, the last thing you want is to have lost a set.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, I mean, do you think CLG or Clutch are good enough to pass Golden Guardians or Optic? Or the other way, are Golden Guardians and Optic overperforming at this moment, and they're going to slide under those other 2?
I
don't know.
No opinion
I don't
on
like,
the matter.
I'm neutral. Because everything I've ever said going into every week when you ask the questions, I say no, fuck CG. And I end up getting screwed. So, you know what? I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, they're only one...
It's the clump.
Wait,
Yeah.
you went 8-2 this week. We both went 7-3.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, no, it's great. But
it's not true, it's 9-1.
That's definitely screwing me.
Yeah. I mean... But,
and CLG to an extent, because I have been picking them, and they've been losing, so...
Like, part of me wants to say, oh, like, Clutch has been getting it together, but, like, their 3 wins on the back end of the season here have been Golden Guardians, Fox, and CLG. Like, is that really getting it back together? And CLG... And, okay, here's my big issue with CLG, is they swapped out their bot lane this week. Or, sorry, they swapped out their bot laner... what was the name of the dude who fucking played? Otto, yeah. Otto played bot lane, Moon played jungle. I think Stixay at his bet, it's an Afromu thing. Like, where Stixay, when he's playing really well, is, I'm sure, better than Otto is, currently anyway. Maybe Otto gets better in the future, who knows. But, from what we know of these 2 players at their best, Stixay's the better one. At Stixay's current play rate, I'm not sure about that. I was saying just last week that I thought CLG did better because they didn't play through their bot lane. They said, you know what, hang back, we're going to let Darshan play, and we're going to let Power Vivo play, and that worked. And I think Wiggly has been important to this team's success all through the year. Whenever they've won, Wiggly's been doing well, and whenever they've lost, it's not that Wiggly's just feeding. It's generally bot lane, like the time Stixay got hooked like 5 times by Thresh in lane as Ezreal, I believe. Like, just fucking garbage plays. And so, I get subbing out Stixay. I don't get subbing out Wiggly for Moon. I've liked Moon in the past when he was on Golden Guardians. The high Moon combo was fantastic.
Well,
High was the mid laner, Moon was the jungler.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with how they play on the academy together.
I'm sure it does.
But, I mean, it's kind of a weird combo, like 80 carry and jungler. Like,
right.
I mean, how often are they, like, interacting?
Well, and I think the intent was to have Moon play around bot lane a bunch for Otto, which he did, I think. I don't know, I'd have to go back and watch closer. But when it comes down to it, I think when you get to that stage, you know, the LCS stage as opposed to the Academy stage, the quality of the player matters so much. And I don't think Moon has the reps right now to be the quality he was even when he was on Golden Guardians. I think he's below that, and I think Wiggly's a better jungler than him heads up anyway. And so you took that away, and we just saw that team suffer this week. Like, they lost to Golden Guardians and Clutch, and fairly decisively in both. Like you said, game 1 of the week, they quietly got steamrolled by Golden Guardians. And then the game
You said that.
Or, I'm sorry, yeah, you did. Sorry.
Why would I say that?
I don't
It's
know.
fucking...
But like, and then game 2, like
I'll say they got fucking creamed by Clutch though.
yeah, and game 2, like Otto's playing Ashe, and the Zac jungle did not work in any way, shape, or form. Like, you don't play it into a fucking Alistar, and it's like if people are like, "Oh, Huni picked Rumble," it's like, dude, Huni's fed his ass off on Rumble like twice this season. Why would it be any different this time? But it's because the jungle did nothing. Moon did nothing.
I don't like
that
Zac
game.
as a jungle anyway, so.
He's really good in ways, but yeah, and like you had Power of Evil and Syndra. Why were we not just feeding the Syndra? Like, fucking take the Jarvan yourself. Let them pick whoever the fuck, and go Jarvan Syndra in the middle.
That'd be good too.
Because if you get any of the pop-ups, then Syndra's gonna get the knockback, and then if you don't get that, then he fucking does his Cataclysm, and you get the knockback stun, and you're guaranteed her ult. Like so much shit.
I saw a really weird interaction. I don't recall which game it was. It was a Jarvan ult where he ulted and then he ended up not in the pit with them.
He flashed out of his own ult.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I vaguely remember
He did
that.
the ult, and then they were coming at him, and he immediately flashed out.
Okay.
That was cool too, though.
I didn't.
I've only played Jarvan a couple times, but I find it to be really satisfying to ult like the damage dealers, or like or all the peel, like say like they have an Alistar and all this shit. Ult them, and then you flag and drag or ult the fuck out of your own thing, and just go, hey, I'm gonna go kill your squishies. You guys hang out for a moment.
Yeah.
And they're just like in the pit, and they don't have their flash, and they're like, no. They're just stuck in your little fucking ring of fuck off. Like they're in timeout. That's their playtime. But yeah, I don't know. I doubt we see that same lineup from CLG. I hope we see Wiggly back in. If we do not see Wiggly back in, CLG doesn't make playoffs. Done. I'm not saying they do make it if Wiggly plays, but they do not make playoffs without Wiggly. That is my firm opinion.
I think they should just bring back Stixay and Wiggly. I don't know much about Moon in the context of having previous seasons, but from what I saw this weekend, Wiggly was better. And Otto got hooked just as much as Stixay, so why not just keep your main dude at that point? Yeah. And who takes the realm warp? Otto, come on, man.
You did bail hardcore on Fox. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know. I see this holding the same, just because I think CLG's late season shift seemed a little out of sorts, and I still don't trust Clutch. I just don't. I think that team, as long as Piglet is in the bot lane, is not going to be consistent enough.
He's either fucking great or he is.
And I do love
in the garbage.
How last week I was saying I put in the chat, I was like, big is the problem, convince me otherwise, all that. And then so this week, like, they gave me like, on Saturday, you're like, all right, let's see if big is the problem. And then like a little bit later, you're like, well, from what the announcers are saying, you're like, they're winning, but Big missed A, B, C, basically all of it. So, Like, and he played okay, but yeah, there was a point where like he went in and just whiffed everything. I still don't think Big's good enough to be starting for that team. I think Gate should be in.
All right, can I talk about Clutch for 1 second?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we're at. Go for it.
I feel bad for them right now because they arguably have the worst out possible. Team Liquid, TSM, Cloud9, and Golden Guardians. They
top 3 teams and a top 6 or top 5. Yeah, we'll say 6.
Okay.
So they have 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6.
Like, even if they beat Golden Guardians day 1, I bet they lose the other 3, and they're still just as fucked.
Yeah.
And
winning 1 game will not get them into playoffs.
God, could you imagine if they like beat TL or something?
Like, see, what's really crazy is they're a win up on both 100 Thieves and Fox, and I think that they are probably the most likely to definitely be out.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I can agree. I literally can't even fathom them beating TL.
If they 4-0 the last 2 weeks of the season, though, I don't give a shit. Anything that happened, they deserve to be in playoffs at that point. If you beat 1, 2, 3 and tied for 5th, 6th,
then you deserve it.
You deserve your spot.
You deserve it, and I have a renowned respect because you managed to fix your shit.
Yeah.
All right? That's the equivalent of actually changing.
That will only happen if Piglet's summed out.
I don't know, like, if Huni actually shows up for once, and Demonte gets the support he needs to get ahead, it's not completely...
They swapped their jungler this weekend, too, didn't they?
No.
Did Lyra still play?
Yeah, Lyra played both.
Okay.
He was J4
Optic just switched out one of their games. They did Medios one and knocked the other. That's right.
And he was Rek'Sai the first. They lost that one to Fly, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't.
Fucking karma. I hate.
Yeah, no, they have a real fucking rough out.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they shouldn't have been able to beat. I think if CLG played their other roster, they don't beat CLG. But you know,
And
who
if
knows?
CLG played their other roster.
Well, no, yeah. If CLG played their normal roster,
Okay,
they beat
gotcha.
Clutch.
Yeah,
Or
that's
they
right.
don't beat CLG. Clutch doesn't beat CLG. Whatever. But yeah.
I see what you're saying. Agree.
At which point, then they're in that 4-10 clump, and they're real fucked. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it anyway, because like you said, that is a disgusting out schedule.
Yeah, that one's probably the most rough of any one.
There's no way you can beat that. There's no way any other team faces the top 3 teams. I don't even have to like actually look at it to know it's true, but it is. Yeah, TL Cloud9 Golden Guardians 100 for FlyQuest, TL Cloud9 100 CLG for Fox, but that's it. Like they're the only one who has TL Cloud9 and TSM. And having FlyQuest is only, one game worse kind of thing, but still, like, we all feel like there's a step difference, at least in current consistency between TSM and FlyQuest, so. Yeah, that's some hardcore shit to deal
And
with.
I think that GG's has a good chance of winning at that game, like versus CG, in which CG goes 0-4 and of course they're out.
Please vote against me in that game because we usually both don't win.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to pick against them so I win.
Okay, so but that's going to be the game that I'm picking for you,
Oh,
right?
God, no.
Oh, no? Okay.
God, no.
I'm so excited to see which one it is.
Speaking of that, let's
Yeah, we are getting towards the end of the show.
let's go
here.
2 picks here.
Yeah.
So let me pull it up. Day 1. Boop.
People play people. Got it?
Oh yeah, they play with people. Wait. Day 1's going to be Optic CLG. I don't even know why I
I'm
have
looking
it
at
down
his
here
screen
too.
because it's so
Yeah.
much easier. And I
Optic
forgot my fucking
CLG.
glasses.
FlyQuest 100.
Suh.
Optic CLG. FlyQuest 100 Thieves. TSM Golden Guardians. Clutch Liquid. Cloud9 Echo Fox. Let's start at the end there. I don't think anybody's picking anything other than Liquid over Clutch and Cloud9 over Echo Fox.
Yes.
Cool. TSM over Golden Guardians. Are we probably all in agreement on that? I could see Golden Guardians winning, but I'm going to jump to TSM right away.
I'm saying TSM.
I think they're just more consistent at the moment.
Seems probably the likely route to go, yeah.
I feel
That's
like you might pick GG's just because you like them.
that's one of them,
you might
like,
pick TSM because
day
you think they
of
win.
that, like, or night before, I might go, fuck
Yeah.
it, like gut feeling. FlyQuest 100 Thieves. Does anybody have a reason to pick 100 Thieves?
No, I have
No,
FlyQuest.
no, it doesn't. And then Optic CLG's the hard one.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm handing over to you.
Yeah?
I'm handing you my Optic CLG. I think.
Okay.
We'll see if I change my mind
so
before we
my
end.
thoughts on that are, if I'm assuming, you know what, I'm going to assume that CLG is going to run Moon and Auto again, just because they're dumb, and they don't watch us, so they're not
Oh,
going to go
and
back.
for those of you who don't know, last week part of the bet, it was the burgers,
Oh,
but
yes.
also the losers, Chase and I. We pick one of the games that she gets to predict for us going forward on this next week. So I picked Optic CLG, or at least currently am, because I feel like that one's hard to pick. They're pretty close, and you just don't, like, they're both fucking messes.
And what did Optic do this week?
Well, then
Optic went 1-1. They beat Fox and lost to TSM.
the game that I've got is on day 2 for you.
Yeah? Which one is that?
This cluster right here.
Kev just noticed that it's not Zane. It's Zanhir Paneer, as he said. Yeah, I know they both have wonderful hair, but come on.
A little bit different.
Like, one of them has slightly more masculine features. I'm not going to say which.
It's not Zane. You're slightly more masculine than Zane is somehow.
Some men are just very effeminate.
It's only because dude looks like a lady.
Looks
He's
like
like,
a pretty
who's that
lady.
one, someone in, like, the LCK or something. He's, like, real pretty. I can't
Is it
remember.
me?
Are you in the LCK?
No, and I'm not
Okay,
real
then.
pretty either. I don't know.
Anyways, but it was 100 Thieves versus Fox. Okay.
Yeah, that's the game that I'm giving
Yeah.
you.
Okay,
'cause
so
that's gonna be a dumpster.
hold on. What's your guys'? Well, your pick, and then your pick for both of us. Optic CLG, obviously subject to change still, but Optic CLG on day 1 because the rest of us agreed on
Okay.
the other 4.
Okay, hold on. I was looking up Optic something. Hold on.
They played Meteos day 1 and beat Fox, and they lost
I
to
think
TSM
Optic
day
wins
2
that
with
one.
Dardock.
Yeah.
I choose Optic to
I
win
feel
that
like
game.
it's more likely, but I don't know.
We got Crown. Okay, so
Yeah, that's
for you, I'm probably picking CLG, and for me, I'm picking Optic.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I would assume
we're-
you pick
We're
opposites.
both
on it.
gonna lose that one then.
Yeah.
The best part though, like Because you would assume on most of these you would pick like the opposite thing, but if you're wrong, like you're double wrong. You hurt yourself and help us. So you could go the other route where you're like, I'm just gonna pick the same. That way, at least you don't do better than me.
Shit.
Which is why I picked the game I did because it could very easily go either way.
All right. So day 2 though starts with. Golden Guardians and Clutch. I think we're probably all on the Golden Guardians bandwagon. CLG versus TSM. We're all on TSM bandwagon.
TSM,
Jump over the third one. Cloud9 versus Optic. Cloud9 bandwagon. TL versus FlyQuest. TL bandwagon.
Yeah.
Like, there's some of these that obviously seem closer than others, but at this point in the season, like, things have shook out so well. I think Week 9 is going to be really hard to predict on a lot of these, but anyway, the one that I did skip over, though, and this is the one you're giving up to Heather, is 100 Thieves versus Echo Fox. Bottom of the table clash. Only one team can go win this week.
They're both garbage, and I don't want to be responsible for picking wrong here. Because
this one's hard.
Things I've said about my dating life for 1,000, Alex.
So my answer today may differ because I always wait for the Saturday matches to happen first, so it might change. But for now, I think I'm going to pick 100 Thieves for you.
That makes me really sad because that's probably...
Exactly. Because if they win...
Well, like both of them, like the two we picked, they're the two closest ones. But we both feel like Fox is slightly better than 100 and Optic's slightly better than CLG.
I think 100 Thieves just has a definite chance of actually beating Fox. I might actually pick them myself, too.
Yeah, because like personally, I'm picking... I think right now I'm picking Fox over 100 Thieves.
I would have probably picked Fox myself.
Unless Afro moves City on Saturday, then I'm hard switching. Which will suck for you, because at that point, it'll be too late for you, unless you want to give her, Liquid versus FlyQuest to fuck you over on.
Nah. No. I'm locking that in. I don't even care.
Yeah. No, I think...
Oh, that was fun.
This week, it would have to be some upsets to be interesting, although those two... No, I'm good at the moment. Those two close clashes, the ones we're giving over, they do matter a lot. Like, for playoff, like, either being knocked out entirely... Because, let's be honest, whoever loses that one is probably knocked out entirely, considering Fox is going to get smashed by Cloud9 the day before, most likely, and 100 Thieves is going to get...
Most likely.
And, well, I mean, Cloud9 did give up one to CLG. If it wasn't for that, they would have only lost to TL so far this season.
Wow.
Both TL and Cloud9 gave up one game they shouldn't have. Cloud9 to CLG and TL to TSM. Also, that's another reason I'm not very hot on... CLG, because even though their record says they're tied with Clutch, they should actually be tied with 100 Thieves and Echo Fox if they didn't get that Cloud9 win.
That's true.
Like, that makes a big fucking difference.
That makes more sense, yeah.
And like,
if you think about it that way.
And if you go, oh, TSM shouldn't have gotten the one over TL, it makes sense to say they're tied with FlyQuest. I think they're slightly better, but it makes total sense to say they're tied with them. Yeah. I don't know. I think CLG's a clusterfuck. And maybe that's why they freaked out and did 2 subs, is because they're like, well, actually, we should be in last. But, yeah, we're going to see 100 Thieves or Fox almost definitely eliminated at the end of this week.
Are we picking the bubble-wrapped midget?
Yeah, let's pick our game of the week. Let's start with the game of the week, because I feel like that's probably going to be a little harder. My brain first jumps to, I think, we had FlyQuest and TSM on day 1?
My game of the week pick is Golden Guardians Clutch. I think that's going to be the game of the week. Because
Golden
everything else
Guardians
is like so decisive. Or maybe TSM Golden Guardians.
Yeah, TSM Golden Guardians. Okay, I was thinking it was TSM FlyQuest. Yeah, TSM Golden Guardians would be my vote for match of the week. I think those are 2 teams who are actually pretty good right now.
Yeah, and a little bit different from what the TL and C9 easy picks,
And I think if we see Golden Guardians pick out weaknesses of TSM the way they successfully did against Liquid, and I mean, TSM's not as good as Liquid, where they will go, oh, you made the one big mistake, it's over. I think that match could be good.
TSM tried to throw so hard this week.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So,
they're not like Liquid, where it's like, oh, you did something wrong, here, let me win.
First pick.
Like, I think it's more likely that TSM makes a bunch of mistakes than Golden Guardians makes a bunch. Just from this past week, maybe. But I think that's going to be a really good game, and if Golden Guardians wins that, I think they cement themselves as a team that's absolutely on the up and up. It's not just like, oh, these other teams were worse than you this split. Like, you are legitimately a good team, and I hope you continue to grow from here.
Well, I said from the very beginning, like, I know that they kind of had a rocky start, but Like, I mean, they have Hanser. I know he's a little bit washed up compared to how he was a few years ago. I think he's kind of coming back and playing well again.
He's finding his feet. Like I said, I took back because I yelled at him when he played Kennen like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what the fuck? And he played it so well this week, he proved me wrong.
Like, same thing was said about Froggen. Like, he hasn't played in a couple of years. Like, he's washed up. And he is surprisingly one of the best parts of that team right now.
Yeah, he's... And it's funny, because we said that the very first episode, where, like, Golden Guardians is going to hinge on if Froggen's any good still. And it took him a few weeks to go back to, like, his tried-and-true champion pool. Yeah. And now he's good.
I like watching him. He's fun.
And Ole, I think, is really good as well. Like, their whole team, like,
Ole's doing better.
Like, he's still making some issue. I think Ole and Contracts are probably the weakest people on that team. And those aren't bad people to have as your weakest members, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone so far.
All right, so which game do we want to pick? Are we still on TSM Golden Guardians?
I think I'm going to say TSM Golden Guardians, because
You were, what was the other one you suggested? Was Clutch?
Golden Guardians Clutch, because I think honestly that might be, because Clutch can sometimes be so strong that they are stronger than Golden Guardians.
There's absolutely not, like, a chance. Yeah.
So that one's like real tense for me. But
if Clutch shows up, that's going to be a really good game, but I think the one you can count on being a better game is probably TSM.
Alright, so that one's it. Good.
Yeah,
I like that it's different.
Yeah, our Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling match of the week, though.
Obviously 100 Thieves Echo Fox.
Yeah, I mean, there's no two questions about it. It's not only is it the Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling match, it also fucking matters, which is great. Like, we're either going to see these two teams get their shit together and actually play well, or we're going to see the biggest garbage fiesta that the fucking LCS has had since Clutch 100 Thieves. But no.
What's day one? Go.
That's day 2? Yeah, that's day 2 they face.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But yeah, like,
I can see that.
I hope that the desperation just breeds absolute chaos and terrible play. I think the recipe is there for just fucking... I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, like, because, you know, different regions have slightly different metas and stuff. It's been jokingly called, and, like, more recently, there's been some kind of, like, respect around it, like coaches in EU and stuff in Korea have talked about it, but the NA-RAM is that North America just fucking everybody groups mid and fights like it's an A-RAM. And, like, so there was, at first it was just like, yeah, they don't know how to play the map, so they all just fucking fight mid. But there's been more talk about it recently. It's like, well, actually, like, if you're forcing a fight in mid, you know, like, if other people want to play the side lanes, like, you're seeing, like, these objectives get taken and stuff, too. It's like, there is some method to the madness. Now, granted, when the top two teams, you know, Team Liquid and Cloud9 do it, I can make that comment. When we see these other teams do it, it's more like, yeah, they have no idea how to play the map. So, like, there's been back and forth. I think this game, though, could be NA-RAM as fuck. I want to see a full, like, 30-minute NA-RAM.
Alright, so 100 Thieves versus Echo Fox Day 2. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
picking that one for you.
That game's...
I'll center that in on the Discord.
That game's going to be such a pile of flaming garbage.
Which is why I'm glad that I don't have to pick it.
Can you imagine if it just ends up being, like, pristine, though? Like, it looks like the Cloud9 TSM game where it's just two teams just doing awesome shit all the time. Like, what's going on?
To be fair, like, they're both so bad that, like, they kind of might start to look good comparatively.
They could both be so afraid of losing that they don't make any decisions that cause mistakes. That's possible, too. It could be the most boring game possible.
An old joke from the college days. Like, I used to get told that I was so gay that I wrapped around in a circle and I became straight again. Same thing's gonna happen here, but they're gonna be so bad that they're gonna wrap around and somehow become good again. Like, I very much think that's gonna happen in that.
There's no way these teams are as bad as you are gay.
Disagree.
But no, I think it's very important, or not very important, it's very possible this game will hinge on, are you afraid of being knocked out, or are you desperate to make playoffs? And the team that is desperate is more likely to win because they will show any sort of proactive play. Because we saw it, like, when Clutch threw that giant lead to 100 Thieves, is because they were afraid of throwing that lead, and they did nothing until they lost. The team that wants to do something will win this game. That's my prediction.
So what's our wager?
Oh, what's the wager?
I don't want to wage anymore.
Alright.
I don't want to wage anymore.
You do not like it?
I don't know. If you've got something good.
We can, unless you got something good, and I don't know if there's a great match to put it on. I think we might be better off waiting a week and then betting on who does and doesn't make playoffs.
Okay, that works for me. I mean,
because there's only one good match this week. Well, one or two that we think are any close, and I think if we went with the clutch Golden
Guardians, that
that one's actually close. But if we went with the other one that you could maybe do is Golden Guardians clutch, and I think we all just put our money on Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's the one close match.
Golden Guardians versus TSM.
I think I'm going to.
I might.
Yeah, see?
I might.
If we did a wager, it would be on that one. But if you do not like wagers because you're just gonna lose, it's okay.
I don't like losing.
I don't have anything good off the top of my head. We used two really good ones.
I didn't have time to think today. So.
Yeah, so let's we'll push off a wager until next week.
Okay.
But we'll bet on who does and doesn't make playoffs, or who. I think everything else is going to be decided pretty easily. It's going to be like, hey, which of these three teams makes it? You know, because it's like, let's be honest, Cloud9 and TL should both secure the first round buys by getting first and second in that order. TL, Cloud9. And then we'll know one of the teams that's out next week, if not
for sure.
Really, probably two. Like, it'll probably be both those teams are eliminated. Only one is mathematically.
Yeah.
And then Clutch is probably all but eliminated as well. So it's just going to be like, all right, what's that one team that's going to miss playoffs? That's not Fox 100.
No, Clutch is definitely eliminated.
Yeah,
they won't
Cloud9.
mathematically be. That's all I'm saying.
I get mathematically, but I'm saying, looking at that, they are out.
Yeah, and that's why I said they're probably going to be eliminated overall. So yeah, it's like, it's probably going to be like 100, Clutch, and Fox are probably all dead in the water. And then there's like the four, it's probably going to be, Optic, CLG, and Golden Guardians fighting for that last two spots. And then we could be like, okay, which one of these three is missing? CLG.
It's going to be so sad.
Yeah.
You get over it.
I don't have anything to do with this.
You get over it. Eventually, your team jettisons a bunch of their players, and you hard jump off that bandwagon and get a different hat.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah. You haven't gotten the jersey yet, though.
I'll get it.
Did you say they had to make playoffs for you to get the jersey?
I thought I said that if they went 2-0 in a weekend, I would do it, and they
did not.
They have not.
Oh no, they did. Optic
yeah.
TSM back week 3, they went 2-0. That's right.
I'm still gonna get it. I'm gonna definitely get it before we go to LA this year, but
yeah, you got a while then. God, maybe they'll suck again by then, though.
Maybe I'm banking on that. But I'll bail on them. I'll be like, I bought a hat, guys. Now I'm gonna go over here.
I made the joke when he switched to them in week 1 that I'm like, within like a couple more splits, you're gonna have like one for every team because you're such a fucking bandwagoner. Although he doesn't even bandwagon well, he bandwagoned pretty well last season, picking Echo Fox.
Yeah, they actually played.
You don't pick the top teams. Like, you're just not gonna pick.
Well,
I know. You want another
Golden
team
Guardians
to
is
rise
looking
up
like they
and
could
be
be a
the
top 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I backed them pretty hardcore last year. It was like I backed Echo Fox and then Golden Guardians.
You were all up on that Huni Dardock threesome.
I was.
He wanted it more than you want Wild Turtle's hair.
Oh wow.
That's accurate, actually. Yeah.
That's accurate. Alright, well, I think that does it, though, for Week 7, Episode 8 of League of Vloggers. Woo!
Woo.
Woo!
Fun.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week with one more team eliminated, or most likely one team eliminated. Probably, I would bet we also see TSM locked in on. I'll have to do the math here, but until next week, though, unless you watch the rerun on Friday. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.